Welcome to our newest episode. It's your co-host, Rissy, right?
Hey.
And yours truly, Kaninja. So today we're going to be talking about something a little down and dirty, a little naughty, a little sexual compatibility.
Ooh.
So, Rissy, this was your idea for this topic. So I want to kind of get your idea of kind of when it comes to sexual compatibility, how important is that in a relationship and kind of
Listen, Kaninja. Like, okay, I'm serious now. Sexual compatibility, I feel, is very, very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Now I say this also including there's a technical word that Kaninja knows. It's people who are in relationships but they're non-sexual.
Oh, like asexual.
Don't ever leave me. And I feel like sexual compatibility is very important because it is for a lot of people. It can be important. It could be not. You could have a high libido, a low libido. But in my experience, I've never met a couple who had different libidos, different turn-ons and stuff, who were not. I have not. Okay, hold on. I've never met a couple who was not sexually compatible and happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They either are they're like, I'm trying to figure out, like, they are searching for that, bam.
Yeah.
We are compatible. Like, I've just never seen it. And the happy couples I see, they are sexually compatible. Either they have high or they both have low. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Where it is very important. What about you, Kaninja?
I agree that it is very important because you're right. I mean, there is definitely in past relationships that I have been privy to, that, there was no compatibility, like at least during the time that they were like, in my past relationship in the beginning, it was great. And then, things happened and like the birth control pill affected me. So it made my libido go very low, where the partner I had at the time had a very high libido. And so I had a very low, they had a very high, and it was hard. It was a very hard situation. Like I put it on myself, unfortunately, as far as my own confidence, as far as like, okay, why do I have low libido? It's not fair to you. The person was just like trying to just be patient, but they were having a hard time too. And so that was hard. And then all of a sudden I got off the pill and it switched because they had mental health issues, which created a low libido for them. And I also had a lot high libido at the time. So we were never compatible except for like the first year of a relationship, as far as, sexual compatibility. And it was just always hard. That was always like, it hits confidence levels. If your partner is not compatible with you sexually, it could result into them feeling like you're not attracted to them. And even though that may not be the case, because you don't match their libido, they're like, well, I see you matching me feeling like you're attracted to me. But that's not the case, so I totally agree where like there has to be compatibility or at least an understanding, or really that the sexual portion of a relationship does not have to be a priority for them for that change or difference to be a thing. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally understand. It has to be a shared importance, because for me, if you're over here good once a week, I'm over here like, hey man, that's not even it. Okay. Like I need something. I need you to like like I can't. But no, I totally understand, because that was a topic in my heart this week.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because even Get out my face. Why? Because I'm on some BS. Okay, I'm on some BS. There is a guy, super sweet. He only lasted 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Would take me out to dinner, ask me my day. 5 seconds. Well, it probably was 5 minutes, but still, same thing. And I'm just like, and they're just like, well, I haven't really been with nobody in a while. And I'm just like, oh okay. All right, I'll give that to you one time. Okay. Mm-hmm. It took me 3 sessions before I even, and I'm just like, why? So I started getting more irritated. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow. This guy, he is doing things on my list, right? There's that imaginary list we have. But you're not doing it right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, that caused my frustration because I'm just like, hey, I'm one of those people, and I'll hump you from the behind, okay? I'll smack your butt. I will tell you have a nice butt.
Right.
Oh, you're gonna walk behind me? Yes, I'm looking at your butt. That's what I'm doing.
Yes.
Leave me alone. You got any nudes? Got any new nudes? It'd be nice. It's been a minute. Can you give me new angles? Like, come on. Everybody's versus, and I'm gonna say he's there because he doesn't watch our shit anyway because he's toxic, right?
Right.
Toxic Dion. Toxic Dion. Okay.
Name drop.
In my mind, I knew he was the one. Because the first time we ever hung out, I was on my cycle. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't hang out on your cycle. Mm-hmm. Everyone's different, but for me, I'm not going to get too deep of my escapades because I really don't know who listens to this. Mm-hmm. But it's weird. When I was young, I had a lot of experience. I had experiences with these people, and when I'm older, everybody's like, "Who does that?" I'm like, "What you mean? Like,
yeah, why not?
Why not? Like,
yeah."
So yeah, talk Dion. We first hung out. I was just like, yeah. I was like, I'm so horny right now, but I'm on my cycle. He's like, I've done it on a girl cycle before, and I was like, whoop. Oh, okay. All right. Now this is our first time. We're not talking about we've been kicking it. We've been hanging out. This is our first time, and I'm on my cycle. That's what I knew he was the one for me. Okay. And it was amazing. Amazing. But Toxic Dion be super inconsistent.
Yeah, he's toxic.
Toxic. I miss him. I'm on the social media too. I be putting eggplant when I see him on social media too. Like eggplant. Toxic Dion. But he knows he knows it. But but this thing though, right? Mm-hmm. That sexual compatibility is there. It was there the first day. Mm-hmm. Like I called him and he was like, "Hey, I'm at the store. Is there anything you need?" I said, "A piece of candy, some water, and some condoms." He said, "I already got the condoms, but I'm saying what you want. You want the candy?" I'm like, "Ah, yes. I'm just messing with him. But I'm like, yes, this is great." And I get, and because of him being toxic, but we're so sexually compatible. Mm-hmm. It's like I let him leave and come back in my life.
Yeah.
Just because that's there. Mm-hmm. And that is sexual compatibility can really fuck you up.
Yeah.
It really can. Because you might be in a toxic situation, and because of that compatibility, like when that stuff is not being knocked out the park, you're just like, where am I gonna find this at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Kaninja? It's just like that is what messes people. Like familiar, you know the word, you know how to pronounce it. Familiar and itty. Can you say that? Yes. Mm-hmm. That goes with it. Because with my Can't do that. My whole business out there. Well, this one person who is in a situation because we've known each other for a good couple years prior to my baby. It's like when we hook up, it's like, oh yeah, this is great. And I'm like, what can allow this dude, even if I'm in a situation or not, he can still get it. Why? He don't do nothing for me during the year. You don't get a happy birthday, right. But you don't do really any boyfriend thing for me.
Right.
But regardless if I'm in a situation or not, we can always link up.
Yeah.
Sexual compatibility.
Yeah. Especially because, that is such a priority for you already. Like that's your number one. So if they already hit your number one, you're like, everything else over the head. Like it's okay. Like it's all right.
Yeah, I will be basic. I will be a basic chick and let you give me crumbles, let you text me whatever. Forget my birthday. That's okay.
You coming over still?
You still coming over? Wow. Whoa, bleep that. Sorry. That was a real person name. Sorry. Thank you. So Kaninja just bleeped out a real person name. Sorry, because I talked to her in real life. So my bad. Sweet, I everything. Like his plans include weed, But because we were sexually compatible, it was just like,
yeah, is it
like I'm on the phone, right? Like I'm on the phone. And I'm just like, so what we go? Like, I would love to see your face. I'm like, I got a lot going on. Like it's just like got a lot going on. I'm just taking it slow. And he's like, oh, okay, I understand. And I'm just like, this is late. Like, I'm just like, yep. Like we're not there.
Yeah,
but then right. But someone else, who's part of my list, I went and saw him just for something like 2 seconds. He's like, how much time you got? And I'm just like, man. Like I'm thinking to myself, I got time, but he is no good for me. He is no good. He is no good for me. My baby needs me. I left to meet up with you to grab something, but I got to go. And in the car ride, I'm just crying inside. Like, I had to let him go.
So question though, if sex was not as much of a priority for you, would you still let these things slide?
I don't know. that chemistry is ridiculous.
Yeah, because okay, so sex is important to me too. I don't think it's like the number one priority like it is for you, but it is important for me. So I don't think I would let some of these toxic things slide because of it. But I do think that it could make or break a relationship, depending on the situation. And I guess I have a little bit more patience as far as seeing because it may take time. Like sometimes like with you and Toxic Dion, like it clicked so quickly. But some other times it may take some time for it to click. And it depends on how good it is when it does click. So like you and the other dude, when it took 3 days or 3 times and it was like, and it was not worth it at that point. I was like, okay, even if like it took forever for us to try different things and it was still lackluster. And if it's like your major priority, then it's definitely not worth it. I would say like for me, I think that would be a similar thing because like even though it's not a super priority for me, it is important for me. So
I'm sorry. I flashback, I'm sorry, where I had to tell him no.
Break room buddies, please. We all love Rissy Ray, but don't accept toxicity just because you are sexually compatible.
I'm sorry. Like I cried inside when I left the car. Like when I was in the car, I was just like, damn. I'm gonna turn around and everything. But sorry, I need a second.
I'll let you have your second, Rissy. But yeah, I mean, I think that's important. So like with my past relationship, we were always like never on the same page. So it was more difficult than anything else. And then me and my new relationship were a lot, more compatible. So Rissy asked me a few days ago, would I let a lot of things slide with this new guy that I have because we are more compatible? And I really had to think about it because I don't really let a lot of things slide anyway, in general, in a relationship. But I think I do have a little bit more of a sensitivity because instead of the thought process of, okay, what benefits can they give me? Like, what do they give me? What value do they give me? I can add that to the list. It's another added to the list where I'm like, okay, should I make this bigger of a deal than it really is? No, because he has an extra notch on his list of, goodness that he has.
He can make you come in 30 seconds. Like, I'm stressed. Like, you're stressed. You're like, you just took your clothes off. He walks in. He's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, you're like, "This is Kaninja. I'm telling you, this is what happened. I need you to come in 30 seconds. I'm naked. You figure it out." And he's just like, "Okay." Figured it out. He didn't have to take his clothes off. Just it was done. Like you were like, "Thank you," and then you could go do other things. Like, but you can't find that everywhere.
No, and that's what's really important about the compatibility portion of it. Because if you are so compatible, where even something like that is not like seen as, okay, what else is going on? I'm just stressed. I need this. They're like, I understand because I'm the same way. Bing, bang, boom, the deed is done and you're good to go. If you're not compatible, then they may be thinking, oh, you're just using me for my body.
I mean,
technically.
Maybe in that sense where, okay, so when you leave in, like, when you do take care of your, you get take care of, you're like, okay, so what you doing the rest of the day? Like, you got any errands? Like, but that's what I'm saying. That the whole the word I said, familiarity.
Yep, familiarity.
That goes with it, where you're just like, I'll let it slide. Like you're just like, because that is a point. You're just like, wow, they've explored my body. They know. They're gonna call me this morning. Like for me, I do not like 2-letter responses.
Yeah.
If I text you good morning with the sunshine, I expect something.
Yeah.
And the person who is just we just weren't on the same page. He did that, and I just didn't respond back ever since. I was like, oh yeah, I'm over this. But Toxic Dion, I'll text him back. Did you get my text?
So he could text you 1 2-word like text, and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is why we gave him the nickname of Toxic Dion, Breaker Buddies.
That's okay. I was like, oh, okay. That's fine. I'll text him again to say, did you get my text? Like,
eggplant.
Eggplant. And I think he'll only respond back to the eggplant part and be like, I'm free Tuesday. Okay. Tuesday does not work for me, but it will for Toxic Dion, yes.
I'll make it work for me.
Of course. And that's why I was like, that was in my heart this week about sexual compatibility, because that really, well, for me anyway, I'm going to say, because sex is, to me, I'm in a certain age where if you don't know what you're doing, I really don't. You need to have a base recipe. That's what I call it, a base recipe.
Right.
Okay. And then you adjust for different things. Like, okay, you don't care for this. Okay, I'll take that off the list. Or you do, like, I can go with, but you got to have a base recipe. If your base recipe is usually when you first hang out, and it's trash, and we're in our 30s, 40s, I'm just not in it.
Yeah. It kind of goes with like, would you date someone with no experience? You know, that Rissy says no. And I guess that's kind of where it boils down to. If a person doesn't have any experience, some people just will not date someone without experience. So I guess, Rissy, I do have a question though. So, you know, we're talking about sexual compatibility as far as from a female's point of view. But do you think it's similar from a male's point of view too?
Well, the guys that I meet, sorry. So it can, yes, absolutely. I feel one of the advantages that I do have that I take advantages of is I'm very vocal. So if I'm not satisfied, I'm telling you. I'm not like, yeah, you did your thing, you busted it up. What are you doing? Like I like I've done it. Now, did I give a fuck about my life at the time? Obviously not. Pussy out and all this other stuff. No, I don't. I'm not feeling this. This is not over. This hurts. Or hey, I'm about to. Because sometimes I eat beforehand. So I'm like, hey, don't put me in no pretzel because I'm going to throw up. Like especially when you eat. And they try to put you in all this other stuff, and you just like, hey, I did not work out today. I have not worked out in months. So you just throwing me in here just because I'm short, it's not gonna work. And a lot of people are not vocal. And I do meet a lot of guys, I do, where they'll say like, I don't like the way my XYZ does this. And I'm just like, they're like, but you do it just fine the first day. I'm like, well, you know, I watch a lot more, but like, so, but she probably don't. Like, not a lot of women watch porn like that. And so I was like, okay, well, do you have a conversation where like, and some dudes don't even, they'll be like, oh, she doesn't do it, so I don't ask.
Well, that's wrong.
So I'm like, and which would go to the whole, our debate that we had, one of our talks about, you know, men, women, ... Because if a girl asks like, hey, I'm gonna need you to, you know, in the bedroom put some razzle dazzle, it's us awakening, or hey, you know, like I'm being a woman, okay, empowerment. But if a guy is, you know, if you're over here, you know, because we think we putting it down, you know what I'm saying, we're putting it down, and then we're over here, you know, doing our thing, and they're like, hey babe, you're like, what? Hey, next time when you do this, can you do less teeth? And you just like, what you mean? What you mean? I put A for effort. What is wrong with teeth? What is wrong with teeth? I'm trying my hardest to please you, and I don't know what I'm doing, and at least I'm trying. You didn't love me. You don't love me. So while I'm doing it, what are you thinking when it's happening? Are you what? So now you embarrassed. Now they don't want to bring the shit up.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I do hate for guys in the sense of sometimes because you don't know. Some women be like, okay, well, I won't do it at all. And you're like, oh shit. Okay. we didn't say no. We're just saying, can you please put less teeth when you do it? Right. You ain't gotta worry about it ever. Because I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. It's like that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this. But it's very easy to get sensitive around that topic because that's very vulnerable for both. And it is funny. It is interesting how women can say where, you know, what we like and not like, and guys, like some guys may take it really well, some guys may not, you know. And so because really it's all about technique, you know, from what I've heard, it really is all about technique, no matter what size you are. It's about technique. And so basically, you know, it's easier for a woman to explain that, like you said, Rissy. And then I know I've been in a situation with me and my new guy, like we talk about that stuff all the time, like what works for each one of us.
Oh, okay.
You know? And so like, because in the beginning it wasn't like sunshine and rainbows and fireworks, you know, we had to work through it, you know, and I think that's the benefit of how like it wasn't like a super priority for me, but it was up there. And so, but I was willing to work through it, and now we're good. Like we talk through things. We're like, this works, that doesn't work. So like, let's go through that. But in the beginning, when we were having those conversations, I absolutely did react in those ways where I was just like, what do you mean? Like, do I not feel good? Like, am I not attractive? Like, you know, all this XYZ, XYZ. And when we had conversations and, you know, we did research.
Oh, I was just kidding.
No, I did that.
Well, because you doing it is, I mean, not you, but I'm just saying women in general, is like you do it's empowering, but if a guy do it, they're demanding.
Right, exactly. Or they're putting you down. Like you feel like they're putting you down.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, what, I'm just not good enough, but you don't realize you're doing exactly what they're doing to you to them. And so, but they're not reacting like they're not good enough. They just want to make sure it's good for you.
Yeah, because they don't want you to talk crap. Because we're going to talk crap. I'm talking crap.
Exactly. Hence
I wasted this gas to get here.
I took off my clothes and everything.
I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I miss you, Toxic Dion. I miss you. But I did not know that that's how you reacted, Kaninja.
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely did. Because, you know, it was the first time I actually had conversations about, you know, sex, you know, what worked, what didn't work. Okay. So like I thought that, hey, like, you know, A plus B equals C, you know, 2 plus 2 equals 4. You know, it's gonna feel good for guys, like no matter what kind of thing. And
listen,
I didn't know.
Listen, you learned today. You learned that day. You said, well, I'm laying here. You're fine. He's like, well, if you could put your knee up, why do I gotta put the knee up? What the knee go do for you? It's in the same hole. Okay, what the knee go do? Just please, a little bit. I'm not even asking for a 45-degree angle. I'm just
you don't love me.
You don't love me. You're like, what the knee gonna do? But and those are things where, okay, let me say this. So there is hope. As you can tell, me and Kaninja both have our own view. I mean, like, our approach to it. Mm-hmm. To me, off the gate, if I'm not seeing stars, I'm kind of over it. Mm-hmm. Versus with Kaninja, I'm not saying you do it all the time, but just the thought process, okay, hey, I need this off the gate. Versus like, okay, I can work with it. Like, we still have a baseline, but we gonna have a conversation to get this to the ideal situation.
Right. And all the other things that the person has to be in the check marks for that to happen for me. Like, if it did not check those check marks and on top of that, then no. Like, you have no backing for me to stay here and to work things out. And like at the time, my thought process was like, okay, luckily, you know, this guy checked all these other check marks. You know, I'm willing to handle the bruised ego that I have right now too. And, you know, because it takes, you know, kind of a hit to your confidence and a hit to your ego when it comes to having those conversations and what works, what doesn't work on both sides. And so I was willing to deal with that bruised ego, to be with this person, to see how it can work out, because he checked all those other check marks.
Yes.
You know, so so with that, we are almost out of time and we do gotta get back to work.
Part two. I miss you.
I think all part 2 is gonna be is Rissy just saying, I miss you, Toxic. And that's it. Yeah.
Because like you said, the other dude, no, not the other dude, sorry, she doesn't have an other dude. It's the fact that, hey, I can work with this, but you check other things on my list. Yes. I'm not even worried about the list. What else you got for me?
Yes.
You gotta cut it.
We're gonna finish out with our final thoughts. So Rissy, go right ahead.
Okay. My love. Oh, I'm just gonna be crying at this. I'm just gonna drive somewhere
And cry.
and just cry. Like, hopefully I'll see you Valentine's Day or my birthday.
Or
Okay.
tomorrow.
Or tomorrow. Really, yes, it really is. I'm trying not to be too desperate here. My 30 seconds. So also, this topic speaks to me. Okay, it speaks because a lot of relationship, well, it's not related, but situationships, I would have let go like literally off the get-go. But that sexual compatibility had me go from a situation that's literally not one night stand level to, you know, me on and off between 12 relationships at this point. Like, it's that sexual compatibility is compatibility is a beast. So I definitely highly recommend. I'm sorry, I'm over my 30 seconds.
You're good.
Just please make a list so that you know that when you let them go, like how I gotta let them go, you're strong with your decision, because it's hard. It is hard, especially when they're home runs every time. Not all the time, not some of the time, all the time. That's my 30 seconds.
I love it. I love it. Awesome topic, Rissy. This was an amazing topic. It was interesting for us to talk about this. And the only thing I would say is that, you know, for break room buddies, I would really look into where sexual compatibility is within your list. You know, and it's important. It should be on every person's list, no matter who you are. It should always be on every person's list. But where is it on your list is really where it's important. So, like the comparison Rissy you just made before between herself and myself, you know, just make sure you kind of look at that. It is important. It is important because it stems to confidence. It stems to happiness. It stems to stress relief. It stems to a whole lot of other things. You know, if you guys are aligned. And if you guys aren't and you guys still are okay, have a plan B, a backup plan. And when I mean plan B, I don't mean another person. I mean, what else can you do to relieve the stress or vice versa? What can you do to help that other person as long as they checked off all the check marks? You know, that is all I have to say for the 30 seconds. So with that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to and share to our YouTube channel. Definitely let us know what your thoughts are about sexual compatibility and the things that we have talked about today. We have become a lot more personal for this one. We have given a little bit more information about our lives, and hopefully that helps you guys understand, you know, how important it is to us. So especially with Rissy, and let us know your thoughts about what we talked about today. Also, check out our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. That is where we put our updates. Typically, we put them out every week or so. So just check us out on there and leave your feedback. So with that, bye, Break Room Buddies.
Bye.
See you next time.